ever to receive the degrees of Master of Science in Medical Sciences.
And now, leading us in the invocation is Rabbi Gil Alhadeff from Temple Shalom in Ontario, California.
Almighty God, creator of the universe, healer of minds and bodies, We join together today in gratefulness for the accomplishments of the graduates of the class of 2011 of the College of the Osteopathic Medicine of the Pacific. As they pursue their career choices in medicine, help them to understand the depth of their commitment. Guide them as they use their unique skills to answer the human needs of their patients they will serve. Be with them as they bring relief to the sick and comfort to those who are confused and anxious. Help them to find solutions to make society a better place. Assist them to be mindful of their own needs and of those of their loved ones. Remind them of the need to be healthy themselves. Grant them a life of usefulness, sincerity, humanity, great compassion as they do their sacred work. May your kindness always accompany them. May you give them the mind and the strength to accomplish all that lies ahead. May your presence never fail them, and let us all say, Amen. Amen. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rabbi. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. The College of Osteopathic Medicine of the Pacific. 30 years ago. Some of us were younger at that time. But a graduation, as we know, is always a special day in the lives of the participants. The graduates, their family, the faculty share a unique moment in time. And I'm sure that the faculty will leave a part of themselves with each graduate. These faculty are professionals who believe that character in a student is as important as high grades. Our faculty want their students not to be just learned, but to be wise and decent and humane and generous, forgiving and light at heart. And the perfect gift that this faculty gives to their students is the gift of their example. And I'd like to
give them all another round of applause. Thank you again for inviting me here, and I am honored to join your class with this hood, honor beyond belief. I'm privileged to be here on what the poet Mary Oliver said was that one wild, precious life that you are about to step into as DOs. And I would also say that was one wild and precious party last night, wasn't it? And today is too. After all, the columnist Robert Novak once said, the highlight of your 4 years in college or medical school is graduation. Guess what he said was the lowest point? The commencement speech. So years later, when you look back on graduation day, you'll remember the hard work, the MCATs, the master's thesis, the will, if you will, that it took to get into medical or graduate school. You'll remember the vision that you once had of wanting to be a doctor and to go to this great College of Osteopathic Medicine and this great Western University. And you may recall the excitement, the apprehension, the nervousness at leaving school and starting your residency in just a few weeks, or receiving that first solicitation from the Comp Alumni Fund. Given these factors, I'm sure you're not going to remember much of what I say today, and that's okay with me. But since I am a lawyer, and you don't have too many lawyers here amongst your medical ranks, I feel I have the right to ask at least one question before your memory fails. Are you ready to graduate? Let me hear you. Are you ready to graduate? All right. Tina Fey, the comedian, who was the first female head writer at Saturday Night Live and now produces and stars in 30 Rock, once was asked, "How do you know when the show is ready to go on the air?" She replied, "The show doesn't go on when it's ready. It goes on when it's 11:30. So let's see. Bob Ann, you said last night it's Friday. I've got 10:05. It's time to graduate. But as we celebrate, let's also focus on the bigger, more important question. Are you ready to become an osteopathic physician? Are you ready to be a DO? 40 years ago, I thought I knew the answer to that question. I wanted to be a doctor, just like you, but I couldn't pass chemistry. I didn't have the will, the ability to do that. But you all can, and you did. And as I tell our staff every day, you can do it. You can DO it. Real catchy, huh? 4 years later, we have before us 216 osteopathic medical students and 28 students from the College of Biomedical Science. All men and women of will and vision, all ready to graduate. Your family and friends have come here to celebrate with you. These great teachers and leaders behind me on the stage are ready to send you off, all hoping that you will become a DO. You can do it. Before I close, let me share with you one more thought. Even if each of you is ready to be a DO, there are those who will tell you as soon as you leave your hallowed campus that the end of osteopathic medicine is at hand. Whether the alleged threat is too many DOs, new colleges of osteopathic medicine, nurse practitioners, trial lawyers, electronic medical records, inadequate payment, or the federal government, these naysayers will say that our distinctiveness has been lost and that the disintegration of the profession has begun. I say not. I have met the class of 2011 last night, and to paraphrase Carl Sandburg, I don't see dark days ahead. I see the AOA and the osteopathic medical profession in the crimson light of the rising sun. I see great days ahead, great days made possible by men and women of will and vision. Give us your will, give us your vision, give us your commitment, give us your belief, and together we can touch the heart and soul of every patient we heal. We can shine the osteopathic light throughout the world. We can lead a wild and precious life as a DO. We can do it. Good luck and God bless you all.
Assembled candidates have met the requirements for graduation and have been recommended by the faculty for the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. It is my pleasure to present them to you.
Thank you, Dean. Graduates, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, as you individually present yourselves, the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, with all the rights, honors, and privileges appertaining thereto. Would you please approach the platform?
Dr. Marico Ailey Farinado. Dr. Stephen Joel Pallas. Dr. Brian Frank Johnson. Dr. Usaima Naveed Siddiqui. Dr. Sarah Ann Ware.
Dr. Rebecca S. Abney. Dr. Rebecca Angela Nahara. Dr. Andrew David Nelson.
I gotta go check on Cassie. I babysat her. It's not good. All right, I'll go.
To introduce Douglas Attell, PhD, Associate Professor of Molecular and Neurobiology, will lead the Biomedical Sciences class in the graduates please rise in Biomedical Sciences.
Education demonstrated an impact within 6 categories of educational criteria. This year's recipient is James W. Lally, DO, class of 91. Dr. Lally is President and Chief Medical Officer at Chino Valley Medical Center. He has also served as the Director for Medical Education and Family Medicine Residency Program Director since 2000. Each of the programs have received the highest accreditation awards from the AOA during Dr. Lally's leadership. Additionally, new fellowships in geriatrics and sports medicine have been added. Dr. Lally's mentorship and dedication to osteopathic residency education has led to service with the AOA Bureau of Education and the Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation. He is a passionate and inspirational leader who is willing to step in and serve as the teacher of the next generation of osteopathic students and residents. Dr. Lally oversees 120 third-year medical students each year. His mantra is, "I don't care how much you know, but you must be on time, be where you're supposed to be." He goes on to say, "If you do that correctly, we have a basis to improve your knowledge and your experience." Dr. Lally's support of the Montclair Free Clinic for more than 19 years has made this program a favorite of our second-year students, and because of its success, he has replicated it in the city of Chino. With his guidance and mentoring, some of these students have returned to the clinic as licensed physicians. Since 1994, he has included our students in sports medicine programs of the 4 high schools in Chino Valley School District. As chairman of the International Shooting Sports Federation Medical Committee, he is involved with the International Olympic Committee Medical Committee and has served as the team physician for the United States Olympic shooting team since 1993. It is my pleasure to introduce James D. Lally, DO, class of 91, who will give a welcome from the Alumni Association after he leads the DO class in the osteopathic oath. His head's too big. audience and those on the platform who wish to renew their oath to stand with Dr. Lally and the class of 2011, and it's in your program.
Thanks, Admiral. With those that are DOs, graduates, please stand on page 37 of your program in case any family members want to follow along. It's not going to be a repeat. It's going to be let's do it together. So, ready? Is everyone ready? 2011, are you ready? The osteopathic oath. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be ever mindful of my great responsibility to preserve the health and life of my patients, to retain their confidence and respect, both as a physician and a friend, to perform my professional duties, and to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it be asked of me. I will always be vigilant in aiding the general welfare of the community and will not engage in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit myself or to my profession. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation. I will look with respect and esteem upon those who have taught me my art. To my college, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interest and for the interests of students who will come after me. I will be alert to further the application of basic biological truths and to develop the principles of osteopathic medicine. In the presence of this gathering, I bind myself to my oath. Were you guys really reading? Yeah. So, just stay standing. I got the Admiral here telling me what I'm supposed to be doing. I think whoever sits down at the bottom there should get $1 from each new graduate like the military does when you get to meet your first commission. To signify your accomplishments and to note your change in status from students to alumni, please move your tassels from the right side of your mortarboard to the left side. That is now over your heart. It's also near your wallet, which I'm going to talk about. So, would you please sit down and I'll give you some words of wisdom since I am the reality check for this class. In the beginning, when this class first started, the Admiral was kind enough to ask me if I would consider mentoring the class, and I took it upon myself to do that. But before, I need to thank Dr. Pomerantz for putting a dream in place that none of us would be here without him. And if you don't thank him enough, you're wrong. I would like to thank Provost Cohen, Dean Adams, certainly Mr. Crosby for coming this way to give us a very inspirational talk. Did I say the Dean already? The esteemed colleagues, family members, the graduates, the kids that are fidgeting around in their seats because they want mom and dad to be done. My daughter Caitlin, whose cell phone's about dead and wants to go home because she can't text anymore. You know, Dr. Kandari and I were talking. This is really nice. You get a pin when you come downstairs. This pin's worth about $200,000. I was figuring it out. And I'm not sure where some of you are going. When I went to give you the pin, you turned your hand over like I was going to stamp it. So, because you got this thing ahead of you, I want to talk to you today about some principles that I use, because I do consider myself very successful. I'm also very blessed as being a good physician, but I'm going to teach you how to cheat, I'm going to teach you how to lie, I'm going to teach you how to steal right now. And those are the last words you're going to hear from me leaving out this door. And you know what? It's all about doing business. The first thing is you need to cheat. You know, you got to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're cheating anyone else out of the chance of bad-mouthing you, of talking bad about you. You shouldn't do anything you don't want to read about in the paper the next day. You just shouldn't do that. You know, and you need to cheat those that just don't want to make this profession a good one. As Mr. Crosby says, this is not a dying profession. Now, I think there's some minister that says it's all over tomorrow, but I think on Sunday when we all wake up, we're still going to be DOs, and we're still going to be in the greatest profession that you can be in. Lie. I want you to be very, very careful about this one. because it's who you choose to lie with in your profession and in your business going forward. There's always going to be those that want to take advantage of you. There's always going to be those that really, well, no offense, but doctors aren't the best businessmen, but you still have some income, so they're going to want that from you. Just be careful of that. Be careful who you lie with. Okay? Again, nothing that you want to read about in the paper the next day. Steal. That one's a little tougher. Yeah, you need to steal time for the things that are important to you, and that should be your family, should be your profession, should be time for yourself, but you're going to have to make that time for yourself. You know, you want to steal every opportunity to learn, you want to steal every opportunity to make things better. I'm a big proponent of giving back. I think it's very, very important that we help those that come behind us, because eventually they're going to be taking care of us. I believe we have the 4,000th graduate today. Is it Dr. Sodi? Is that who got it? Do you guys even remember what happened 20 minutes ago? I'm going to pay Dr. Sodi's lifetime alumni membership because, one, I think it's important that she's recognized as the 4,000th, and two, because it's part of giving back. And I want you to remember that. You don't need to applaud. You don't really need to applaud that, because I want you each doing that. You know, every student you buy a meal for, you know, you never know when he's going to be able to buy you a meal. So I want you to remember that. Treat your profession and your school and your college as part of business. Give back to it. Squeeze it. Put it into your practice plan. It's all for the benefit of us. Without our profession, without this college, without Dr. Pomerantz's dream and inspirations 30 some years ago, none of us would be here. So I'm going to end it. I am welcoming you to the Alumni Association. It is one of the best ones in the country. I just deemed it that way. I think if we find it in a magazine, it'll be true. I want to thank everyone for their time. I believe I turn it back over to the Admiral. Oh, I turn it back over to the President. But I do want to thank everyone. And again, this has been a good class. You guys are going to do fine. Just remember to be on time, be where you're supposed to be. Thank you.
I guess I don't know where I'm supposed to be, because you are supposed to turn it over to me. Not the President, yet. The Dean's charge. You know, we met in August of 2007 and agreed to capture your dreams, your aspirations, and dedication to a profession of service. You came together as a class and wrote a vision statement, which is printed in your program. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It began, I pledge to myself and to all those I touch, I will continue to pursue knowledge and actively enhance the art of osteopathy throughout my life. I will trust what I have learned and recognize what I have yet to learn. My passion for excellence will be its own reward. You focused on the key areas of balance, humanism, professionalism, and passion. You closed with, healthcare is a human right, and I understand it's my responsibility to provide this care to the best of my ability. That's what you wrote. I hope that you take that and put it somewhere that you can refresh your memory and recall those first moments on the campus in Pomona when things get tough, and they will get tough. But there's always a bright side. So may God bless each and every one of you and the families and friends gathered here in support of you. May God bless the profession and patients of this great American institution. Western University of Health Sciences has prepared you for an unbelievable position of responsibility and power in our country. May you use that power to make a better, safer, and more humane world. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
This is my opportunity to give the Dean's charge to the graduates of Graduate College of Biomedical Sciences. Graduates, you, the founding classes of the College of Biomedical Sciences, it brings me great pleasure to congratulate congratulate you as well as your family and friends present for your singular achievements in academics, research, and personal growth as you complete our inaugural courses of study. As I have told you many times during this past year, this program has been an experiment for both of us and a challenge. And as active participants in our courses of study, you have made our program better for students in the future. Thank you for your ideas and the respect you have shown the faculty, your mentors, and each other in this next step of fulfilling your dreams. As I have stressed with the Western University faculty, staff, administration, and the Board of Trustees.
Therefore, I want to take a moment to ask the graduates to recognize those who have helped make this day possible. Already in the past few days, I've had the chance to learn of some of the moving acts of love and appreciation that many graduates have expressed to their loved ones. So with the husbands and wives, the children, the significant others, the parents and grandparents, please rise and let the graduates acknowledge you. Graduates, I admire what you have achieved, and you have my deepest appreciation. And I'm sure that each of you has triumphed over some very unique challenges, and now you may believe that all things are possible. Indeed, I think these challenges may have only made you more determined to get where you are today. And they may even have become the substance which ultimately gave you purpose and direction. One of the best examples of the notion that all things are possible to those who strive for them is the life of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Even though FDR was stricken by polio as a young man, he didn't allow his condition to prevent him from overcoming two big challenges. You may remember your history lessons, and they were the Great Depression and World War II. It's remarkable that even though Roosevelt could not stand on his own legs without help, the free world stood on his shoulders. This man, whose own strength couldn't support himself, was strong enough to support millions. So when a person is determined, what can stop him or her? Cripple him and you have a Sir Walter Scott. Bury him in the snows of Valley Forge and you have a George Washington. Afflict her with epilepsy and you have a Harriet Tubman. Have him born to abject poverty and you have an Abraham Lincoln. And rob her of her hearing and sight, and you have a Helen Keller. Hinder him with severe rheumatoid arthritis, and you have a Renoir. So remember that the hurdles in life are not set by an unkind destiny to crush, but to challenge and then to uplift. And I know that you are ready for the demands in your future, and I wish you Godspeed. Will the audience please remain seated until the graduates have left the auditorium. And now I declare the 30th commencement exercises closed.
go over the bridge. Unless that sign says.
That's the ground slots over there.
No, that's what. Say cheese. Renzo, look at Katie. Look at Katie, buddy. Renzo. I always do. Would you look at me, please? Thank you. Yeah, only it isn't.
Dogs don't know that.
Mike, Renzo's talking. Come on, down.
Yeah, that's what I was riding around on a bicycle with the sun.
Well, it has to do with putting pens in your pocket.
On the front handlebars.
Yeah.
And the kid got his caught in the wheel. They flipped over, and the guy had a pen in his pocket and it went into his chest. Right in front of us. We called 911. And we told him not to put the pen up. So let's game.
Wow.
I realized
5 brand new reasons not to put a pen in your front.
I take it this must be another one.
The connection is all women that are saying this. No, not at all.
As Grandma says, you put things back. Oh, and Grandpa too.
Yeah, exactly.
Mina, there's no throwing.
No throwing.
Yeah, no throwing. I got that.
Mina?
Oh, it's like the piggy bank. Sort of.
Right up, Mina. Bye.
They're very smooth. They're on those very smooth. They're very smooth. It's a sort of once you drive it right like that. It's really good to take this super dark skies like Northern California, Northeast Florida. It's so dark up there. Yeah, it's long astral plates. That is from here all the way to the horizon. It's pollution. There's no light pollution. It's ink black. The
That's
Milky
north
Way
here.
is just painted. Yeah, it's actually, you know what? If you're going to be in Oregon, there's a thing called the Oregon Star Party.
Okay.
Well, every year, it's just about this time of year, maybe another month or two, called the Oregon Star Party.
Nikki to bed. Did you want to say goodnight? Goodbye to her. Good night.
Nothing over there.
That's
Which
why
is the
they have
point,
it there.
right?
That's the point. You will meet some. They usually have a shower truck. There's a lady that cooks meals and stuff. You may want to camp out. You'll have to camp out in some manner.
Okay.
It's dusty. The dust. They have dust levels sometimes. Horrendous thunderstorms sometimes. So you want to have something that gives you some level of protection besides a stupid tent.
In Hungarian ends with SZ.
Yes.
And that's S, right?
This is the sharp S.
Yeah.
Halas.
It's like the B in German. The big
Yes.
the double S.
Yes, yes. I didn't know you had German, or this was just when you lived in Germany.
I lived in Germany,
You
yeah.
lived in Germany doing the military thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grandma didn't know that I understood German, and we went to visit her, and she talked to Yutzi in German, and I listened. But then she talked to Bob in Hungarian, but I had no clue what they were talking about.
You had said the family name was Herman?
Pardon?
The family name was Herman in
Originally, yes.
Originally?
Yes. Father, people at that time were changing their names to Hungarian sounding names. But the family name really was Herman.
Herman wasn't Hungarian sounding, I guess?
Sort of sounds German.
Oh.
Yeah, they sort of went back and forth. I was reading about it on the internet, and it seemed like they sort of went back and forth. Different generations wanted to sound like different.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, we're here.
Yes, we are. We're here.
Not very much longer. But anyway.
We never know how long.
You never know. You never know.
Wooded area picked out.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I thought it had a gazebo.
It's got a small gazebo.
The name Corvallis rings a bell, but I cannot quite. I'd have to see a map of the Portland area. I don't know.
Oregon State University is there.
60 miles south of Portland.
Oh, it's there.
We must have driven right through it on our way down here. Is it
It's
on
about
the,
half an
the
hour.
interstate?
It's like, you have to get off and drive for like 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Whereas Salem and Eugene, you drive right through, but these are on this side.
Okay.
There's a...
Just don't put any water in
The
it.
beach is dropping down.
Don't put any water. Just let it simmer, and
then
it'll give its
next thing
own
you see is
water.
you're heading right for
Of
the
course, she didn't buy frozen chickens.
Oh,
She
It's
bought
a race between you and the wave, and whether you can
Nice,
get
real fresh
down the wall and get up over the
That
thing
makes a
before
big
you're right
difference
through
in
it.
it.
I thought I
Fruit
put a
cheese.
tomato
Well, if you go
in
that
it.
direction.
I thought I
Of
remembered
course,
that.
today, that's a chicken pie, you know.
And another
Oh,
thing I
okay.
learned, you
You
never put
take the
cold
chicken
water
head,
when you cook, when once the meat is fried. You
That's
should
what
always
he
put
does.
warm
He
water.
rides his bike over there.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
what it
That's
says there.
become
It
awfully
makes the meat
touristy
tough
too,
about it.
boy.
And you don't want it to
Yeah, I was
boil,
there
you
about
just want it to
6 months ago.
simmer, right?
Yes.
Not the way
Most
it's
food
written,
is
but
Well,
good,
then
you
it's
just
boring.
let it cook slowly.
Even Julia
Not
Child,
very
you know,
crowded,
Julia
that's
Child,
really
she's the best American cook that I
He
know.
drives up
Um,
like half an hour to walk
She
down.
always recommends just simmering
not that I only
food,
do the touristy spots.
slow cooking.
Yes,
But
slow
there are a
cooking
lot
is
of
anywhere
breaks,
much better.
especially you go north.
Because
there's
she's
a lot of
basically
breaks. The other thing I worry
French
about
cooking.
there is the Red Triangle, you know.
Julia Child, but
The Falmouth
pretty
Islands
simple.
is the highest concentration of great white sharks in the world because of
No,
the
I'm
huge
afraid
food
that Dilly,
population. That's what they
but of course this,
That's what they
it's
do.
the business.
And then you
He's
go
gone
over
into
to,
too much very,
Vega
very
Bay.
fancy.
That's the other
cooking.
vector.
Mhm.
Santa Cruz is the other one. So you got, they call
In
it the Red
technique
Triangle.
or ingredients?
But he,
Yeah.
sometimes
Valorant
he
Island,
sends us a letter giving his
down
philosophy
to
and so on.
Santa Cruz.
And what he would like to
That's
do is just have a small mom and pop kitchen
population in this
where he
area.
would just have
And, you know,
a choice
surf
of
on a
about 2 or
shortboard. I
3
don't- I would
things
never
that he would
surf on a
make,
shortboard.
and that would be
That's a very
it,
streamlined
you know.
With fresh
longboards that I
ingredients.
Yes.
Yes.
One, because it gets you out of the water more so you don't get so
But-
cold. Two, because you don't look like food to a shark.
Right now, he's, of
When
course,
you're
he's
on a
on
shortboard,
Yeah.
you know, with your arms sticking
Well,
out
let's
like
see,
that.
let's
you
see
don't
what
have
comes
that
out
long
of this.
enough.
I
not
want
a
to
good
see
thing.
it,
Yeah, they don't
to
know
believe
that
it,
that's not a
because
big seal up there.
because he's on the brink
I've been to
of
all
getting
that
into the upper class. You see,
But
the money
that
maker.
was like mostly down
Because
there.
this outfit
And,
is making
going to
big,
Orange
big
County and
money.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And he says it's
But we went, I went
absolutely
up to Aggie Beach,
unbelievable.
it's like Newport, Oregon
Immediately,
is like right west of
the
it.
very
Right.
week
Then
they
Aggie Beach is like
opened,
where you go surfing. Right? And we were just sort of
they
surfing.
were
And I was like, oh, there's a seal.
sold out,
I was like, oh shit, there's a seal.
and he said they were making like
I've
$30,000
never
a
heard
week.
of a shark attack in Southern California this week.
He says there are restaurants that
There's
don't
one-
make that in 6 months.
Oh, there might have
There's
been.
one in Santa Barbara last year.
There was?
This guy's arm.
And they were serving
Really?
like
He bit his leg
500
off and then he,
portions a day.
He bled to death on the beach.
You're kidding.
And poor Dilly had to do almost,
What a great white
I mean,
then.
there were a lot of guys working there, but he said
Well,
he was
in
the
that
only one who
shortboard,
knew
you
how to
know,
cook.
There's
Well,
lunch.
he was a boogie boarder.
Really?
Oh my God, even worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the new place?
But when I was
This
in Ventura,
restaurant
I
is
mean,
the
I
new
lived
place
there
he
for 20
works?
years, not
Yeah,
one.
Fig and Olive.
Fig
There were
and
some
Olive?
sightings every now and then.
Yeah.
Fig and
I used to
Olive.
surf the,
You know, I can show you the menu, but I'd have to get over.
It's over
what's the
here?
name of the guy? I can't
It's in
remember
the-
any of these breaks.
If they could push
It's
that
like a
little
quarter of a mile out
thing
to
over
sea.
here.
It's a
This one?
big peak, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
the Ventura overhead. And the reason it's called that is because it won't break unless it's overhead.
Oh.
You know, huge peak.
No.
And you're sitting out there a quarter of a mile out to sea, you know,
Wait a minute, please.
and you'd start
They
thinking,
put away all
I wonder
my
what the hell's
tool.
That's 100,000 a year starting. He's finally getting there. That's good.
Is it gonna be clear tonight, Tony?
I don't know that. It's a coin toss. High
Take a
clouds.
picture. I'd like to get a picture of you.
Records across all their restaurants. We grossed $38,000 in one night after serving 150 people at lunch and 575 for dinner.
That's
It's
amazing.
insane. Last night on a Thursday with Obama in LA and everybody talking about how slow restaurants are going to be because of traffic, we had 330 people on the books. Every restaurant nearby was saying they'll probably do half of what they had on their books. We wound up doing 500.
Wow.
500 people in one day, you see. Now he says, I'm still working minimum 80 hours a week.
80.
My body is tired, but the minute I walk in those kitchen doors, my mind is sharp as a tack, and it's go time from there. According to Fig and Olive standards, I shouldn't work more than 60 hours a week, you see, and he's working 80 hours a week. I don't know if that's still, this was written on April 22nd, a month ago. Now they keep trying to find more. I mean, you have the advantage of also having Ellie.
Yes,
yes.
Very nice. Ellie from South Africa.
Well, Bulgaria, Africa, and
Bulgaria.
Switzerland. Yeah,
Where we didn't know you'd been to South Africa.
Yes.
Ah.
She really
I grew
grew
up half in Bulgaria and half in South Africa.
How did that happen?
This city? My father immigrated.
Oh.
Yeah.
Managed to leave the country. Yes.
Might be a good thing to do there.
It's okay.
Wasn't easy, probably.
The family story is that she has blood from Peter the Great in her veins.
Wow. As well, yes. Well, no, not really, but my father was a Russian, how do you call them, the my father's family emigrated when the Russian Revolution happened.
They were White Russians.
The White Russians, yes.
It's very easy to get to my website.
White Russians
In
immigrated
Bulgaria.
to Bulgaria. One of the armies, anti-communist armies, withdrew down to Constantinople and to Bulgaria. So there were many White Russians settled in Bulgaria.
They used the same alphabet, right?
That's right.
The Russians use the Bulgarian alphabet.
They use the Bulgarian. No, they do.
It is
Yes. That's the way it started in Bulgaria.
They got their Eastern Orthodox religion.
Oops, sorry.
Very well. See, they make them with an egg. I don't like them with an egg.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I like it the Bulgarian way.
I have a Bulgarian.
I got too fast and everything kind of got
But usually I just need to see the recipe and I improvise.
Certainly.
Yeah,
that's what I do too
Yes.
now. I
If you
look
have
at a
many-
couple of recipes and then I
usually try to
do
write
what
as fast
I
as I
think.
can.
Yeah. Oh, so
So they had a very
you were in
good
different
life.
places.
Well, my grandmother, not me. They lived in Rome, in Venice, in...
What did we have for breakfast yesterday?
It's fun to hear stories sometimes.
Did you see the movie
Better hand it
about Julia?
Yes, that young girl.
A way to go for people who don't know.
It was very
Actually,
sweet.
he's amazing because
Joel and I went to see it. We don't usually go to
really
Austin
strong.
before, but I have
Well, I
to
know.
see it. You guys have heard it already?
Yeah.
It's 99.
I think they got
Came up with a new one.
I mean, everything's right down
the
middle. You know, it brings
They got out of
Wow.
Greece.
nothing. There's a little bit of
CD
neat.
or something.
That's it. Takes a little extra iron.
And you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I've never heard that one.
It's just unbelievable.
Have you ever seen
No
that
diabetes. No
that
this. No
thing?
that. Nothing.
It's a drawing cartoon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And his mother was the same way. You know. I mean, I don't know if I got it.
Ratatouille?
No.
But they,
You've never seen Tony, tell them how to see Ratatouille.
Oh! You guys, just
We can get up
make
there.
sure you have some Kleenexes with you though, because you're gonna cry somewhere online. That is the best movie in the last 10 years. And it's an animated thing from Pixar. It's about a rat who becomes a chef. I kid you not.
Did you see that one?
It is
I've seen it a couple
Ratatouille
times.
is the most amazing. It's such a heartfelt story. You gotta see it. I mean, you know,
I bet.
it is awesome.
Is
It is awesome. Even Andy, would, you know, that would just go. It's the most fantastic.
But you don't like your ears being...
It's such
See,
good
Wall-E?
the artistry.
She's not really
Of
kind
you
of
gotta
girl
see
that
it
really wants a lot
on
of
a good
affection
quality television
until
or
she-
something, you know,
because she's always
with
let go.
high
And then
def.
at night-
Mickey
Yeah, I know, I wanted to take another puppy,
She's
but
on
we
it.
saw
I
it.
think like 6, 7
She
vacations.
says, I'll give you
Yeah,
a
that's
discount, you know,
not-
if you want.
She had congestive heart
Bus
failure.
driver.
I was looking at
She
it.
has
Yeah, we can.
a few things wrong with it, but medications.
Either in Geneva or in Frankfurt,
I
someplace
think
like
we
that.
just left her alone though. She-
And with his knowledge of German, his knowledge of French, he could have worked that job into something really good and
Oh, yeah, I
enjoyed
mean, if
life.
it didn't do
And we
any
would have
training
been
for
there
her at all.
at
She wouldn't
close
have
by
just been wild. She
Turkey.
wouldn't have just
Oh,
done
I
it
don't
on
know.
her
She
own.
would have.
We would have improved our lives and their
Because I
lives.
see her get, even still,
Yours
you know, when I
too.
take her out
Huh?
without the leash, sometimes she, her mind
We
is
never
on
would have met
something
you.
else.
I wouldn't
She
have
doesn't
met
hear a word.
Yeah, I know, you can't
Considers
play
me the
with
top
fate.
dog here,
But
you know, and so
but
when
Flora
yell at her or
tell.
something, boy,
No.
she stops. Daphne.
Because she was a good woman, but by
Yeah, I
golly,
do.
she had her complexes.
Oh, she sure did.
She had her complexes. She had
No, this is
an
like a
agoraphobia.
sport mode where you think
Oh,
about
I
She
see.
had
Oh,
travel phobia. She,
Oh, to focus while she's coming at you?
and the strange thing was,
Yeah, it
her
does. It works
sister,
really well.
whatever happened to her?
fix more.
I have for goodness sake.
Different lens, but the same camera.
She was quite a
I
different
love her
person.
camera. That's a fantastic
She was not
camera.
as pretty as Flora,
This is a pro
but she
quality
was a
camera.
very bright
Sort of
person.
like a commercial
We
project.
did. There's a lot of
Very nice.
pictures out
I
there.
remember later on
I think
again.
it works like this.
Flora.
I don't know, it's one of my-
You wanna have this?
Stand up straight.
All right, stand up.
Give him a minute to straighten.
There we
There we go.
There we go.
That's up. Quick, Steve.
Boy, there's some generations there.
Three generations.
Yeah. Steve was trying to use the.
It's a little bit slower. Oh, stick your tongue out.
Personal, Steve.
Can't
I
say
think
where
he
to-
blinked.
It makes me blank. I can't help it.
No, you're looking great.
Well, if the flash makes you blink, it won't be in that picture.
Yeah.
It takes your eye longer to react.
I see.
It's not fair, the sun has to be in there, not the daughter.
Maybe just stand behind it.
Look at doing, doing, doing.
No, I meant
Now I
Steve.
see the greenhouse.
Oh, I see there's a chair behind him.
Just think.
Yeah, because then it looks like
Okay,
three generations.
so-
Oh, that's right.
How they
going
get
down.
taller.
Let's see, looking good. Not too serious. Oh, there you go. Oop, no.
That's a better
There
smile.
you go. It's good licking your lips.
He thinks it's a model.
Yeah, one more. Okay, those should be.
Thank you.
Those right.
Those should be
Taken by a
exact.
professional.
What about one of you?
Yeah, you can crop it a little bit.
Let's get Katie too.
What about
Yeah.
Mom?
I'm not a Hallis. Well, I am a Hallis, but. Yes.
I'm Phyllis, but
Hallis by
Can I do
marriage.
this more, I guess?
do you want to sit, Uncle Andy? Or
Yeah,
you
I just have,
want to sit?
A portrait, I don't know if there's, you know.
Well,
Yeah, that'll work.
I'd
Yeah,
be
you could
better-
sit and then stand behind him.
I'd be better sitting. Let's not kid anybody. If you pull that chair away, I'll sit in the wheelchair. It's a little higher.
Yeah, a little higher.
Yeah. Patriarch.
Anybody whistle the
That's
tune
a nice
to,
picture.
The Godfather?
Oh.
Flash go?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me get this so I can watch you guys. Okay, too serious. Yeah, that's good.
It was on my phone.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's digital, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just
The thing I like about this camera, I have a 5D, and when you press it, it kind of goes ka-clunk, okay? This one is like,
Yeah.
it's just so instantaneous. It's like so fast. No, I love that camera body. I mean, it's head and shoulders above anything I've ever used before. It's got the things, you know.
You pay extra for that somehow.
I had a Nikon lens once, a 35mm wide angle. I swear, at f2.8, it looked like a flock of seagulls coming in. It was like a dot in the center, and everything else was flying seagulls. I should have kept it. It was hysterical. How could they produce a lens like that? Because if it's that unsharp on a star, it's just doing the same thing to anything else you're shooting.
Anything else, yeah.
But, yeah, flying seagulls, not good. All right, well, anyway, you guys are taking off?
Yeah, we should let Andy go to bed.
No, I love the boots.
Balance it. No, no. Here. Did you open it already? I should have my shoes in that basket. Sorry.
Anybody bring Band-Aids? Steve had Band-Aids.
I have some in the car.
I just put this Steve had
Oh.
Excuse me.
Not enough
You have more experience pinning things on to the line by doing stuff up to the point.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't mind me at all.
I figured they're not closing.
Here, Sabrina, honey.
I'm stubborn.
Quick second.
I got it.
Oh, did you?
Well, I was telling you, up into you were doing a better job than
No, you're fine. You can't get my way.
I'm giving you a
Are we ready? Everybody has their stone.
Oh, stone?
Stone. Good afternoon. Welcome to this joyous day, this glorious moment, this story of hearts gathered and woven together to celebrate the marriage of Sabrina and Steve. My name is Melissa Coe. I am a certified celebrant and wedding officiant. It is my true pleasure and honor to warmly welcome each one of you. We are a small but exceptional group of people, well chosen, handpicked, and so please, if we can, maybe circle a little closer around Sabrina and Steve, and we'll keep them warm at the same time, maybe. Today is an extraordinary moment in the lives of Sabrina and Steve. You have graciously set time aside from your normal flow of busyness. You have gladly walked the hill in the rain to this still green place because you knew that you were going to be part of something extraordinary. Sabrina and Steve deeply cherish your willingness to be here. You are very, very important to them. Your love, support, and good wishes have in the past and will in the future strengthen them for the good times and the difficult. It is indeed remarkable and profound when the meeting of two individuals leads them to walk along a common path, and it is a miracle when a chance relationship goes into a permanent bond of love. This meeting and this growing are what brings us here today. And their love for each other, which they will soon publicly express to each other and to us as their witnesses, Sabrina and Steve are demonstrating not only their joy and appreciation for today and for you, but their commitment, hopes, and plans. Because you have played such an important role in their lives, you are going to have an active part in the ceremony. You have to do stuff. A bit later, I will be asking you 3 questions, and if you agree with what I'm asking you to do, you will please respond with great conviction and enthusiasm and say, "We will." Yes?
We will.
We will. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Finally, you're also going to pronounce them husband and wife. So let's practice that part, shall we? At the end of the ceremony, I will say, "We have witnessed their willingness to enter into this covenant of companionship and love, and together," and here's what you say, "we now pronounce you husband and wife." Ready?
Practice.
Yes, practice. We now pronounce you husband and wife. You can use a little bit more enthusiasm. And then they can kiss and you can clap, you can jump up and down or whatever you want to do. We're almost ready to begin this. But first, I'd like you to have the stone in your hand that you were earlier asked to choose.
Can I get rid of it? Yeah. The stems are loose though, so you'll have to hold on to this.
I can
So what's still on is the stuff that's supposed to go in.
For now, but additional rain. Hold the stone in your hand, please. Regard it. Think on it. Warm it. Hold it tightly as you think on Sabrina and Steve and of your love for them. Now, if you would, whisper into this simple stone your prayers, thoughts, and blessings for their days together. And when you are ready, please gently place your stone in the vase.
Do you get to say anything about the stone?
You can.
Okay. I have 2 stones. I found these stones many years ago in the volcanic crater, lying side by side. Actually, these are fragments of the stones now. You can see that the stones are very different. One is very sleek, very cool, a little sharp. It's a bloody finger. And yet it's one of the hardest substances known as obsidian. And today, when I had to break it, it just took one light tap of the hammer and it shattered into a million pieces. So even though it's strong, it's very fragile as well. The other one is quite different. It looks kind of rough around the edges. It took a lot to break this. It's also extremely light. So light that it'll float on water. And to me, this represents in some ways the truth. So there's a Jewish custom in the wedding that says they take the 2 glasses and wrap them and stop them and say, "You stay together as long as years as there are pieces. And, when you stay together as long as these rocks last and stay together."
So one of the ones I brought is what we used to call lucky stone when I was a kid. It's probably a little piece of quartz. The other one, I believe, is a piece of granite.
And that's pretty hard stuff, and it lasts.
Ground is going in. I don't know if you do that. There's one from Connecticut and one from December.
That's Sabrina's request. I have two. This one is my newest home, and it's Buckhorn, and it's my dreams and wishes. This one I don't know if
It'll fit barely, but it does fit.
this is your whole chocolate.
Mike and I have snows from Hickory House. It's
A lot of lettering.
This simple but sturdy vase and your now precious stones will now reside in their home in a place of honor. On special days or anniversaries, it might contain flowers, perhaps reminding them of a rich color and texture of this place, this moment, of the relationship you share with them. But even when it is empty of everything but the stones, it will always contain the gift and the memory of your presence, attentions, support, and love. Thank you. All of you, as Sabrina and Steve's parents and families, have loved them well and thoroughly. It is because of your love and your guidance that Sabrina and Steve can stand here today loving each other. The flowers that you, their mothers, hold can be said to represent in many different ways. Each of them have blossomed and flourished over the years. Karen, will you please hand your flowers representing your family to your new son? To your new son. I will. There you go. And Nancy, will you hand your flowers representing your family to your new daughter? Sabrina and Steve, mingle your flowers, representing your two families, and gather them together into one magnificent bouquet. And when you're ready, I see this.
one more.
Excellent. Gorgeous. As you can see, the bouquet was equally lovely, but together they are even more beautiful and spectacular. Just as Sabrina and Steve will be once this day is over and they are officially joined. Our ancestors taught us, always wise and helpful, that it is not good to be alone, which makes every wedding a cause for celebration. And we know that this marriage joins together much more than a man and a woman. It also joins together two people with two families, cultures, traditions, personalities, and stories, and that's all a great reason for celebration. Let your hearts be glad. For everything there is a season, a time, and a reason for everything under heaven. Steve Hallis, is it your true desire to be married to Sabrina Noel today?
It is.
Sabrina Noel, is it your true desire to be married to Steve Hallis today? Will all of you promise to support Sabrina and Steve in their marriage and life together?
We will.
If needed, will you listen and offer counsel in times of hardship?
We will.
Will you celebrate with them, encourage them, and remind them often of this day and of their intentions?
We will.
We will. Sabrina and Steve, here's the story. Sabrina and Steve have been dreaming about this day for a long time. The day when all of you could come together here in this beautiful, magical place that means so much to them. Everyone's celebrating together their love this day of their marriage. You may know a little or a lot about how they came together, but a great story is always worth retelling, and it goes like this. Sabrina and Steve first met in medical school when Sabrina was the current president of the Osteopathic Medicine Club. She had been promoting events and benefits of the club to the first-year class all year long. Steve, always ready to learn and meet new people, had attended a few of these events. At the end of the year, Sabrina asked if anyone was interested in running for president. With Sabrina's encouragement, Steve successfully ran for office and became the next president. It was while learning the duties of running the club, oftentimes working closely with each other, that they began to realize that their circles of friends frequently overlapped. So perhaps it was obvious to everyone but themselves. Their mutual friends took much notice of their interests in each other and started creating even more opportunities for them to be together. They enjoyed each other's company and began finding that they spent long hours talking, sharing life stories, delighting in each other's thoughts, observations, and humor. Later, they attended a conference in Dallas, and that was when they started spending all of their available time together. They shared almost every meal, hung out at all the breaks, and spent most of their free time in each other's company. Things began to develop. Steve eventually had to leave for 6 months to do his rotations back in Michigan, and during the course of the time he was gone, they talked and thought about each other constantly. They played marathon, I'd like to know how you do this. They played marathon dominoes via Skype on their computers. Sabrina usually won, although Steve disputes this, and talked and fell more deeply in friendship and in love. When Steve finally returned from Michigan, they decided to try living together, taking their relationship even further. They learned not to trip over each other or to insist on their own way of keeping a house. They got much better at coexisting in the same space, eventually finding their rhythm as a couple. They explored their mutual affinity for being outdoors, hiking, kayaking, and skiing with Sabrina's parents, while finding new places to eat and cooking together quietly on Sunday evenings. And then there was one night in particular when they were both just relaxing, being totally at ease in the company of each other. Sabrina had been reading aloud to Steve, something they both enjoyed. And as she finished reading, she had the quietly profound realization that this was the person she wanted to have and to hold for the rest of her life. Simply, peacefully, completely. Fast forward to celebrating Sabrina's graduation when the two of them, you can hold her hand. Fast forward to celebrating Sabrina's graduation when the two of them traveled to France and Spain. They had been discussing marriage someday. But as Steve says, he was a typical guy putting off asking her to marry him because for whatever reason it just didn't seem like the perfect moment or occasion or place. But really, going to France was a perfect time to propose, wasn't it? Steve told himself that he had to overcome figuring out how to propose. It had to be on this trip. They had been to a perfect spot on a coastal hike. They had been to a perfect spot on a coastal hike on the way to St. Jean de Luz, and he suggested going back at sunset with a picnic and some champagne. Nope. Sabrina did not feel like going. Plan A was defeated, now on Plan B. They drove into Spain to explore the Guggenheim Museum, and Steve suggested that afterwards they could sit by the river so he could propose within view of the beautiful and famous museum. But by the time they got outside, it had gotten cold and windy, and Sabrina doesn't like getting cold.
You can tell.
Discard plan B. Go to plan C. Steve was running out of ideas. His final plan wasn't really a plan at all, but rather a spontaneous decision to seize a great moment that represented many other moments that their relationship was built around. Sabrina loves to cook, and they had the custom of always starting with a wine toast, usually saying a simple cheer to each other. But for this evening, Steve had other thoughts. On the way home from the museum, they returned to a fabulous tapas restaurant in San Sebastian, which they both had enjoyed. As he picked out the tapas, Sabrina ordered the wine. His mind was nervously racing around with what he was going to say, how he was going to say it, whether or not the words were even going to coherently come out of his mouth. When he saw her reaching for her glass to take a first sip, and he said, "No, don't do that. You have to toast first." He feared that his third plan was going to awry. It was a true Hollywood moment. And dead giveaway as the crowded, noisy bar faded into the background and all they could see was each other. Steve, in a halting voice, said, "Sabrina, I love you with all my heart and want us to spend the rest of our lives together. Will you marry me?" Or at least that's what he thinks he said. If he had written it down, then he hadn't been so nervous. But regardless, Sabrina said, yes, of course. He can't remember which way it went, but we did. Sabrina loves that Steve is so tender, calm, thoughtful, and caring. He brings peace to her world. She knows that he will always be her best and truest friend and partner. He makes her laugh and shares many of her interests, goals, and certainly her love of family and friends. And he is oh so talented in music and in his career, always challenging himself academically and in anything else he pursues. They complete one another while complementing each other's potential. They are a team. Steve loves Sabrina's complete and dedicated love for him and for them as a couple. He delights in her beauty, her intellect, and her artistic talents. He thrills for her that she has such a bright, successful career and future ahead of her while cherishing her sweetness and her care for him, their families and friends. He knows that together they are better people than apart. And he loves how much fun they have together, playing house, cooking, going on adventures, and planning for their future family. Sabrina and Steve, would you kindly turn to face one another? If I don't talk to Phoenix, that would be perfect, since we're doing this, my picture straps. I've been wanting to do this for a while. Sorry. Not even close it. I think you can hold one hand across. As you join your hands, remember that you're also joining your hearts. With this awareness and a spirit of mindfulness, we will witness your vows. You start, Steve.
I vow to love you,
I vow to love you,
to respect you,
to be your best friend,
to play dominoes with you on Skype when we're apart,
to let you win at dominoes on Skype,
to laugh at your jokes,
to read aloud to you,
to pick up my stuff,
to not take over your stuff,
to play my music for you,
to listen to your music, to cook with you every Sunday evening,
to start the dishwasher, to explore new towns,
to look at the stars,
to celebrate the present,
to walk beside you on life's journey,
to share joy,
to create beauty, to grow our relationship.
like a garden tomato.
never stop learning,
to dream big dreams,
to wake you every morning,
to kiss you every night,
to ask about your day,
to remind you where you left your keys and phone,
to hold your hand,
to be open-minded,
to admit when I'm wrong,
to cherish you for always,
to never give up,
to never ever give up,
to work every day towards being the man you deserve,
work every day to be alone.
you'd rather be my wife.
Remember that the hand you hold will wear the rings that you give each other, as an outward symbol of the inner spiritual joining that has taken place between you. These rings are but a symbol, but also a visual, tangible evidence of your commitment, your love, your union, your oneness. Steve, can you have some rings, please? When you take this ring and place it upon the ring finger of Sabrina's left hand and repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
To wear upon your hand.
Wear upon your hand.
As a symbol of our unity.
As a symbol of our unity.
And our unbroken circle of love.
And our unbroken circle of love.
You place it upon the ring finger of Steve's left hand and repeat after me. I give you this ring. I give you this ring. To wear upon your hand. As a symbol of our unity. And our unbroken circle of love. May your marriage bring you all the exquisite excitements a marriage should bring. And may life grant you patience, tolerance, and understanding. May you always be able to depend upon one another. Not so much to fill your emptiness, but as to help you know your fullness. May you depend on one another, but not out of weakness. May you want one another, but not out of want. May you entice one another, but not compel each other. May you succeed in all important ways with one another and not fail in the little graces. May you look for things to praise, often say I love you, and take no notice of small faults. If you have quarrels that push you apart, may both of you hope to have good sense enough to take the first step back. May you enter into the mystery which is the awareness of one another's presence, no more physical than spiritual, warm and near when you are side by side, and warm and near when you are in separate rooms or even distant cities. May you have happiness, and may you find it making one another happy. May you have love, and may you find it loving each other. Thank you all for your presence here today, for your blessings on this marriage, and may it always be so. Let the world witness before all present that on this 28th day of May in the year 2011 in the hills outside of Corvallis, Oregon, the covenant of marriage was entered into between the bride Sabrina Noel and her groom Steve Hallis. Surrounded by all of us gathered here, they have affirmed their commitment to each other as husband and wife. Their lives are now forever intertwined. They promise to celebrate all of the passages of their life together with joy and reverence. In times of happiness, they promise to cherish each other, and in times of trouble, they will protect each other. Their home will be a place filled with warmth and light, shared freely with all who dwell there. We have witnessed their willingness to enter into this covenant of companionship and love, and together we now pronounce you.
We now pronounce you husband and wife.
You may.
Yeah, that was the one that was
If it moves towards summer, it doesn't really mess up this.
Yeah, we were here in July. I don't remember it.
But this is, in this particular spring, unusually cold.
Yeah, and I heard more gunshots when we were hiking here than I did all the time in California. They're just shoot. I think they were just target shooting.
Oh, nice.
What?
I had some mud on him. It's okay. It comes off. Okay. Carry on. It's on to you.
Come on, Mom. Alright, that's good. Okay, where are others? Oh, that's it. Oh, actually, yeah, go down. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, they're brother.
Brothers over here. Along the outside?
No, go on the inside so you're more same height. There we go. Okay. Just like that, yep. Perfect. Oh, take your hand out of your pocket. There we go. 1, 2.
Not bad.
Okay, a couple more here.
Got dripping of sweat. We're hot.
All right. Okay, now everyone.